1, 2, 3, 4.
And welcome back to another episode on Breakfast with Brothers.
What's up, breakfast homies? Good to see everybody. Glad to hear from you. Hope everyone's vibing on this beautiful Tuesday. It'll be Wednesday, sorry. On this beautiful Wednesday.
Hell yeah. So we just want to put it out there, if Zach is at all a little grainy or like hard to see or hard to hear, he's going through some troubles with his laptop currently. So we're trying to use the best technology that we have to keep this rolling. So please forgive us for any issues. We're trying our best to keep this up. So, and he's definitely trying his best to get back on board with everything he's got. So
yeah, we'll rock and roll as is. Hopefully you guys can put up with that. I'm sure our majority is on Spotify, so you don't get to see my pretty face regardless. But on YouTube, if you're watching, don't judge, please.
Well, actually, on Spotify, that you can watch like the actual video clip, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah, you were showing me that. I remember.
Yep. So I had no idea. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Besides
that is big
the
time
point,
as far as being able to.
Yeah, absolutely. But let us get into our topic for today. So we didn't really know what to talk about today, but I figured we'd talk about something that kind of has impacted our life. Has always been kind of like, I wouldn't say influential. I should say it has influenced how we have like grown and what we respect and what we enjoy to watch and look at and do. And it's skateboarding. So I guess we could just kind of dive in from the first moment we kind of were introduced to it, and I think that was on PlayStation 2, like just playing video games at first, or maybe it was more like Brad.
I'd say that, yeah.
I think it was a mix of both. I think Brad was skating at the time, and we were also like very much looking up to our older brother and thinking like, oh, that's so cool. And, also playing, like, Tony Hawk's Underground and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know for me, like, and Ian was saying with Tony Hawk's Underground, like, or me, I know Ian might have picked it up a little bit sooner than I, but I wasn't ripping around on skateboard or anything. It was definitely more video games out of the forefront. I mean, we watched, remember when we watched Yeah Right for the first time? That was something.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Probably shouldn't have been watching it as young as we were, but definitely a nice little, insider scoop into the saga of skateboarding and what that looked like as far as a hold in our life. It wasn't something that propelled us to like go and skate and figure all that out, but it definitely piqued our interests. It kept us moving in the direction of playing more Tony Hawk or, asking Brad questions about stuff when he was skateboarding and stuff like that. And then, well, it flourished from there. I can't say that I'm skateboarding today or anything, but, we are playing more games like Skate, stuff that was a little bit different than your button mashing Xbox and early PlayStation games with like Tony Hawk and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It still has a hold in my heart, at least.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still skate today. I mean, I just went out skating yesterday by myself. By no means am I like as good as Brad ever was, and Brad will say that he's not good either, but he's such a liar. He used to be nasty back in high school and shortly thereafter, from what I hear from other people. But point is that I can get around. I'm more of, I would say, of a longboarder. I can really like carve pretty well, but I can't really do any crazy tricks. I got an ollie in the bag, and I almost this close to having a backside 180, but nothing insane. And I can't say that I'm at all like killer, but I do like to skate. I love riding around. it's a lot of fun, and I skated a lot in high school, especially with a legend by the name of Travis Atkins. Shout out Travis.
The legend.
I miss you every day, buddy. Yeah, he's cooking now. I think he's still skating too. So, I think he's just gotten a little busy in life and such, but he's still skating. Hey, welcome back. Sorry about that. I had to cut there. Zach's having some issues, but we're all good now. We're all fantastic. We're all back in it. So, what were we talking about? We were
shouting out Travis.
Oh yeah, Travis Atkins, straight legend. I hope he's still shredding. He's got a I wouldn't say a missus, but he's got a lady he's hanging out with now from what I see. So he seems pretty happy for him. But besides that, yeah, I skated a lot back in high school. More longboarding than actual skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it was a lot of fun, and I still plan on coming. I started back up yesterday. Plan to keep on trucking forward and getting back into it. Keep my bones limber.
Yeah, and you have to with skateboarding. I feel like one wrong turn, one wrong slip, that's it. You broke 3 bones, cracked a rib, maybe have a bloody knuckle somewhere.
Oh, dude, yeah. A lot of fun when you accidentally when you're trying to do a trick, you catch up forward on your front foot, and you land on the ground on your back foot, and your front foot just keeps going. You do an entire split, and then you're just sitting
Pure
there
tragedy.
like wondering what the hell you're doing. Yeah. It's good times. I enjoy it.
Skating with Travis, I know he said, when you get older and you're dealing with stuff like that, doing anything athletic comes with the risk of possibly bailing and never being able to do that thing for another year, maybe longer.
Yep. Yeah, Travis by no means
thankfully, I haven't
is
gotten
old.
to that point.
Yeah, no, neither have I. Like Travis by no means is old. He's not old at all. Nor is like Brad, our older brother. But they also have livelihoods where if they're out of work, they're screwed because they need to make money in order to survive. They're not back in high school where like you can just bounce off the ground and be like, I'm good.
It's true though. Like, and I'm starting to get a little bit of the weak knee or the soreness after doing something athletic. Not so much with golf. I wouldn't say golf, because we're doing a lot of golf carting, and heck, even if you're walking, you're exercising, staying limber. But when you're doing stuff like skateboarding or riding BMX, sometimes even ripping scooter, I mean, heck, just jumping on a trampoline, not too long ago, maybe a little over a week now. It feels like one of those things where it's just waking up the next day. A couple spots are sore, the arms, the way you bend them, the knees, a little bit of cracks when you get up out of bed. Sometimes even your back, like, not that it's been bothering me, but every now and again, like if I'm playing video games, for longer than like 2-3 hours and I'm sitting forward, like, or I'm leaning, that's when, you stand up and you're like, ooh, something's a little too tight.
Dude, yeah. I mean, by no means are we old, but, there's definitely some things that like we just don't do as much anymore. Or like in my case, I'm not as active as I used to be. And I'm sure that's the case with you, Zach, even though you work outside, but there's certain muscles and bones that you're not like exerting throughout the day. Let's just say, for example, you're sitting on a mower all day, just in the case in point that you might be. You're not really doing much. You're just sitting. You could be outside and you could be active, but you're not exerting any pressure on certain muscles. And, in my case, I'm sitting at home all day working on my laptop. And, so I'm feeling it from yesterday, dude. It was terribly, terribly awful this morning. Just like,
Yeah.
For whatever reason, my inner thighs are feeling it, probably from, just going through certain motions over and over again yesterday. But either way, we'll get away from old man talk because we're not even old men. Skateboarding's been very
Well, I was going to loop that back.
very heavy Oh, okay, go ahead please.
It's funny how much like our talking is left behind from what we can hear. But yeah, I was gonna say that had I been able to step on a skateboard today, tomorrow, the day after, it's one of those things where I'm not going full fledged. Like even if I haven't been on a board in a little bit, I was never able to do too much. You know, it was just enough where I could try the kickflip rotation, could never land it. Could hit a pop shove or two, land 50% of them, probably less, and forget about ollieing onto a rail. That was never it. I could ollie around, maybe over a tiny stick or something like that, but I wasn't hitting gaps. I wasn't dropping it. I dropped it on a couple ramps with Ryan a few times, but never anything serious at all. It's all tiny stuff, little, plastic BMX stuff, or this one place that I did go, Ryan had like a mini skate park built into their French Woods cabin down in Hancock. And it was like a mini skate park. You know, there was a decent sized half pipe. There was a bowl that was no bigger than my apartment, which mind you is, I'm thinking this thing was like 50 feet long, 30 feet wide. And then they had like a little side area with a tiny rail and mini boxes. And then they had the little tiny quarter pipes. I don't even know how much better I could describe them, but when you drop into them, it was, nothing you had to worry about. It wasn't scary. It was just a matter of gaining your footing. But that's the stuff that was good for me because I could just go whee back and forth and then go on a little flat ground and then whee go back down. But that's the most of what I could do when I was on a board.
Yeah, I couldn't really do much like in ramp or I guess in vert. I was more flat ground than anything. I was terrible at vert. And I forgot Ryan actually like skated a lot. Like I forgot he was a pretty good skateboarder from what I remember you telling me about. Um but yeah, no, I was never much of a vert guy. I could kick turn. That's pretty much it. Um I can get some speed going. I can get around a park. In no way am I like actually like dropping in. Could not drop in for the life of me. I slammed hard one time, like dropping in, and like after that, it was just like never again. I'm good off of that. Especially since when I dropped in, it was straight concrete. Um, yeah, it was tough. It was tough work. But I skated a lot with Travis. Yeah, dude, absolutely awful. It just was I don't know. I mean like I've taken a lot of like good hits. I used to skate a lot at this place called Graffiti. And for those listeners that actually do listen in, that live around us, everyone knows about Graffiti if you skated at all. It was like an abandoned, I guess it was like an abandoned like amphitheater of sorts. I don't really know how else to describe it. Yeah.
I don't know what else they would use it for. I mean,
no clue. I mean, it was kind of like it was built like I guess like an amphitheater or like a theater of sorts. It had like a descending like platforms and they had a stage and everything. It was off of this like old hotel that used to be around the area. And so like people, I think probably around like Brad's era of skating, it was like very popular. I know Travis talked about it a lot and he liked going there. But they used to like they had it like actually like cleaned up and stuff, and they had like a bunch of stuff in there for skating and such. And over the years, it's just deteriorated and such. I think it was more for like BMX than anything.
And I would say, regardless of whether or not you brought a skateboard or a bike, it was pretty beat up. Everything, I will say though, being handmade and put together, nothing was set up like a skate park. It was kind of bring in and construct from there. And when Ian and I got there and saw it like that, it was put together decent. We weren't expecting anything. I know when I went my first time, just getting a quick description of it, I was like, this place is going to be kind of junky, and not that it isn't a amazing spot and it's not like, well put together, but it's enough. You got a couple ramps in there, they have the one box that you could grind on and do tricks off of and stuff. And then the gaps in the seating, the row seating is nice for, if you can do it, obviously hitting ollies and tricks over, or maybe hitting a ledge for a grind and whatnot. But it's one of those things, like you make do with what you have. And back when our older brother was skating and his buddies and a couple years above and below him, they didn't have what we have in Liberty now, as far as like a little local skate park. They were building up funds to have it made and, situated. And then that all went south when people took off with their money, and nothing ever made true on promise until, I don't know, what was that it came in 2018? Maybe
I want to
a little before
say
that?
like I think it was like 2014.
That was earlier. Okay. I
Yeah, I think it was earlier.
Decently recent. It's not anything that's been around for like decades or whatever, but it's newish,
Yeah, definitely shout out Team Skate, I believe it was the program called, for everyone who, worked to get that like project finished and like actually set up. Travis was a part of that. Travis, I believe, Will Soul, and then a lot of the younger generations that were skating and such. I think James Ayuso was in it.
James, I'm sure EJ was. EJ Allen.
EJ might have, yeah. I'm not really sure of everyone that was in it, but shout out to everyone on that, that board that really kind of pushed things forward, like to like actually get stuff finished. I know the skate park isn't crazy by any means, and it's not like what you guys wanted overall, but there wouldn't be anything there without those guys, and I know they really, really wanted stuff like finished.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know Travis was a big part of it from what he tells me, and I'm happy to know him, and I want to shout out those guys that do. Anyone who was a part of it, you know who you are, but just shout out Team Skate for getting that all finished up. That was really cool. And please, if by any means, if the year was wrong or anything, any other information, let us know. We'll shout you out. We'll put it in the video or whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say, with that being made the way it was, with what we were hoping for and what they were hoping for as far as a skate park goes, Liberty wasn't, and Ferndale and Monticello, the surrounding areas, it wasn't really one of those big areas where there was like guarded campuses or parks or university landings or gas stations that people were getting chased out of. Wherever the skaters went, they weren't really followed or hated, but of course, they garnered a following of people who didn't want to see them there, or the repetition of, making use of certain walls, ledges, railings, staircases, what have you. The skate park was something that would draw away from skaters going where people don't want them. And I know in bigger cities it's more of an issue, but that skate park was something big, for people to be able to go someplace and meet your friends there without even ever, hey, I'm going to be here at so-and-so time. Like, if you just went out to skate, chances are you'd see people there. And that's the cool thing about skateboarding is, it's not just ripping on four wheels and a little piece of wood. You got people that you network with and make new friends that know people who know people, and then from there it's just pure vibes. And that's the cool thing about skateboarding, is that nobody is ever going to rag on you like someone who's really good is going to look down at someone who's just beginning. If anything, they're there to help and to further what skateboarding is, and I think that's what's so cool about the sport.
Yeah, dude, I love skateboarding. Whenever I went out with Travis, it was always like, we'd rag on each other in the sense of like jokes. Like we'd laugh when we'd fall. He'd clown me for something stupid that I did, but then I'd clown him for being old and not being able to do anything anymore. But yeah, no, I definitely. Like I've gone skating some places and like I've been kicked out of some places. It was mainly over like at the elementary school, like I got kicked out at. And it wasn't anything like ever crazy, but I never really liked going to the skate park too much, mainly because it's the only good spots, like in my opinion, are like the little flat ground areas of it. I couldn't really hit vert, so it wasn't really like meant for me too much. And it was small. So being that it was useful for those that did enjoy it, by all means, like let them go and rip it. But, I always liked flat ground more than anything, and, little parking lot, little adventures and such. But, I've gotten kicked out a couple places. I used to skate over at TD Bank with Travis every now and again. There's a little parking lot in the back. It was a little nice spot. Elementary school, did a little at the high school. There wasn't really any like crazy spots that at least I went to. I know there's a lot of other spots that people ripped up and did and such, but
I was gonna say I know the Days Inn.
Beyond that, yeah, Days Inn I got kicked out of too, like a little while later. They didn't want anyone skating there anymore, which kind of sucks because like in the back is a really sweet spot. Like, you can just kind of cruise, and you have like a little loading dock in the back that's also nice. But got kicked out of that later on. The original owners, I think, didn't mind, but then there was like new owners or something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to push it. And then there's the professional plaza, like all the way in the back too. And we're back. Zach had another issue, but we're all good. We came back. He's all good.
I swear it wasn't me.
Cruising along. It was definitely Zach. No. We were talking about the Days Inn, a couple other spots. The Professional Plaza, whatever that place was. It was like the couple of doctors' offices and like chiropractors and such.
Yes.
Skated up around there. Supposedly, Travis always tells me about this gap at the Professional Plaza. He said they used to call it Brad's Gap, but Brad said it was never his gap. I don't know. The gap was like, so you had like an upper parking lot and you had two roads. You had two roads. Here, wait. Two roads coming up to like a parking lot up top, right? And then you had like a drop. It's just like grass in front. Yeah, two roads coming up. And then you had a parking lot up top. And so supposedly Brad's gap was he went from the parking lot onto one of those side roads, like the roads coming up. Supposedly that was Brad's gap. I don't know. Brad always says it's not his gap or he never did that. I can't remember what he said, if he did it or not. I'm pretty sure he did it, but that's up in the air. That's off the dome. But
yeah, shout out Travis. You better have an answer for us. Shout out Brad. You better have an answer for us.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who's listening, but no, seriously though, I think Zach put it best. Skateboarding's always a fun time, whether you're good or not. I'm by no means am I good at skateboarding. I just like doing it. I like cruising around. I always wished I was like crazy nasty at it. I wish I could like really just ollie a 13 stair set. But realistically, it's just a lot of fun hanging with your friends, and if you're good at it, great, good for you. Like, sweet. Like, skateboarding is really cool. But if you're not good at it, try it out. Or just hang around people that do, and you'll have a good time.
Well, that's the thing,
I've
too.
never had a bad
hard
time.
To get good at it, like anything else. You got to put a lot of time and effort into it. And, of course, everyone will always rag and, try to get you down. Like, oh, skateboarding's not going to get you anywhere. It's not a job. What are you wasting your time with? It's like, it's the same thing as, like, you going home playing video games, or you going home and trying to, I don't know, be better at, like, Settlers of Catan or something. I think anything that's leisurely or hobby-like will always look like a waste of time at first to people that don't like it or couldn't care less about it, what have you. But if you find a passion, especially something in skateboarding, and you can get good at it, let it fly, because opportunities will come. Stuff like that will happen. I mean, people get paid to play chess. People get paid to, I don't know, design keyboards. people get paid to do a whole lot of random stuff that I could go on and on about. And if skateboarding's really the worst thing, in your people's life, whoever's in your circle, then just let them know. Like, you're just doing it for fun. That's all it's about, man. No skateboard ever hurt anybody unless a skateboard is thrown at you. But every person I've known that skateboarding is super chill, and it's always been a vibe. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think the best example would be, well, there's people out there making money off of TikTok, and I would think skateboarding is so much cooler than someone making money off of TikTok. So if you can make money skateboarding, more power to you. That's awesome. That's
you
sweet.
can make money skateboarding for TikTok.
Yeah,
that's
that
what
too.
I'm saying.
But yeah, no. Don't let anyone ever tell you that skateboarding isn't cool or that it's a degenerate sport. No. I would say them.
It's true though. I mean, and that goes for longboarding and ripping around on a penny board or whatever. I mean, I don't know what else people are doing. I mean, riding the one wheel skateboards or whatever the heck you call that thing. I mean, they're all in the same boat. And I know skateboarders who push on four wheels and on a classic board will say otherwise, but they all come with their own difficulties. And of course, skateboarding is one of the highest. The next time I hop on one, I'll let you guys know how it went on the pod.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I guess all of them have their difficulties, but realistically, skateboarding is really fun. And if you haven't tried it, try it out. And shout out those that, have given it up for, jobs and such to stay healthy for their families. You could still skate, you just got to be careful. And it kind of sucks because, well, now you can't just go balls to the wall and really try out like new tricks and such. So shout out to all those people that have really kind of like eased back out of it and have kind of cut back on skateboarding, because I'm sure there's newer generations coming up. So yeah, that's all we got to say about that. So thank you guys so much for coming in and tuning in. We hoped you enjoyed our little chat about skateboarding. Whether it was good or not, we hope you enjoyed. So, if you can, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify, check us out on YouTube. If you're checking us on YouTube, check us out on Spotify. And we'll catch you guys on the flippy flop. Till next time, peace.
Out for the, I'm walking the bull, out for the, out for the, out for the, out for the, out for the.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.